Lonely trees, it's hard to breathe, but I will keep fighting. With broken walls, nowhere to fall, but I will keep climbing. I can't see, I'm in the dark, surrounded by sharks, be clad over me. I can't see, I'm in the dark, surrounded by sharks, be clad over me. Just take me home, just take me home. Now the sky is falling, don't let it fall, don't let me go. Now the sky is falling down, 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 down on me. Down, 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 down on me. Now the sky is Don't you know that I'll be here for you till we got nothing left to do? Tell a couple jokes and enjoy the view. I'll be here for you. Don't you know that I'll be here for you till we got nothing left to prove? Write it down in ink, I'm a drunk tattoo. Always here with you. Don't you know that I'll be there for you wherever you go? I'm a guarantee like Curry's 3 and Harden's free throw. Whenever you're lost, I'm blue. I'm on some cruise to see you soon. And when the show ends, the credits roll without you. The piano's out of tune, but I'll play it for you so we can have stuff to do in the afternoon. I'll be here for you, yeah, I'll do it with you. I'll stick till it's through, yeah, you know that it's true. Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry. Sometimes we get drunk and buy shit that we find online. I'll be here for you, yeah, I'll do it with you. I'll stick till it's through, yeah, you know that it's true. Don't you know that I'll be here for you till we got nothing left to do? Tell a couple jokes and enjoy the view. I'll be here for you. Don't you know that I'll be here for you till we got nothing left to prove? Write it down in ink, I'm a drunk tattoo. Always here with you. Call me fast, I drive down in a flash. 2 hands on the whip, won't crash. Changing lanes so quick, whiplash. Twist and turn so drastic, life feels like a Tarantino. Don't know where it ends, moving dice, a casino. The piano's out of tune, but I'll play it for you so we can have stuff to do in the afternoon. I'll be here for you, yeah, I'll do it with you. I'll stick till it's through, yeah, you know that it's true. Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry. And sometimes we get drunk and buy shit that we find online. Till we got nothing left to do. Tell a couple jokes and enjoy the view. I'll be here for you. Don't you know that I'll be here for you till we got nothing left to prove? Write it down in ink, I'm a drunk tattoo. Always here with you. gravity takes my body out of your stratosphere. I'm combing the skies to light up the dark, 'cause I feel so alone out here in this galaxy. Inside of me, don't wanna be your enemy. No, this fantasy, it's guiding me as it takes me away from you. And I'm drifting away from you. In this galaxy in my mind I've made for you, this tragedy comes to life out of the blue. And I don't know why, but I feel most alive when I'm searching for these signs of life, in the hopes that they'll lead to you. There's a fantasy in my mind I've made for you. The agony comes to life in waves of blue. And I don't know why, but I'm drifting away from you. Oh, I'm drifting away from this galaxy inside of me. Don't wanna be your enemy. No, this fantasy, it's guiding me as it takes me away from you. And I'm drifting away from you.
Listen to me speak, but just do what you want. What words will you keep? The ones that cause us harm. You assume the worst, but that is yet to come. Because you caused it first, and now we've come undone. Caught up in trying to find a problem. Why do we lose our minds, sending us before we try? Fed up with trying to fix our problems. Why do we lose our minds, sending us before we try? Why do we lose our minds, sending us before we try? Why do we lose our minds, sending us before we try? Caught up in trying to find a problem. Why do we lose our minds, sending us before we try? Fed up with trying to fix our problems. Why do we lose our minds, lose our minds? Look between the lines, because you bent the truth. Now it's hard to find a place for me and you. I know you're paranoid, but that does not excuse the way we've paved a void and made ourselves confused. Why do we lose our minds, sending us before we try?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revival League Season 2. My name is Retro, and we are back here again with Champions League Round 2. It is Voltage Gaming versus Arctic Wolves. We're starting out on Chalet. It's going to be a quite interesting matchup. The reason for that being the fact that In the previous matches, in round 1, Arctic Wolves 2-0'd, or rather won both of their maps against their opponents. Meanwhile, Voltage Gaming lost both of theirs. Both of those games were won or lost in regulation for both teams, meaning that Voltage Gaming are currently sitting with 0 points to their name. They're at the bottom of the leaderboard. They are only just barely above Lumina Gaming at the moment, basically only on round difference. Meanwhile, Arctic Wolves are at the very top of the leaderboard. The only reason why they are behind Vitical Esports at the moment is because they have played fewer games, so Vitical Esports are naturally above them. So Arctic Wolves are looking to increase their lead and retake the top spot over Vitical Esports. Meanwhile, Voltage Gaming are looking for just any points so far this early in the rounds. I've said this before, and I think I'll continue saying it until we reach that point, and that is that I think for now, points don't really matter all that much. I think around round 4 is when teams really should start to worry about how many points they've gotten, what that really means for them and their placements in the season. Is of course the top 6 from the Champions League and the top 2 from the Premier League get to place in the playoffs. So if you're in that 7th or 8th spot, that could really be a problem, especially come round 4, round 5, and not to even mention round 6 and 7. So for now, it's not really that big of a deal, even if Voltage do lose this game, in regulation and don't pick up any points. But it is still, you still should start to build up some sort of a base and really start finding points early. Because that, of course, alleviates a lot of that pressure come later on when, you're fighting and, you might be equal with somebody and then you're just looking for that round differential and everything like that. So definitely a good moment for Voltage Gaming to start thinking about those points and to start thinking about how they're going to counter some of their opponents in order to get those points and in order to put themselves through into the playoffs. But now, it is Voltage Gaming versus Arctic Wolves, and it is Chalet. The bans have come out. It's Thatcher Azami. Nothing really that we haven't seen before, followed by Jackal and Solis. If I did know any better, I'd say that they're playing ranked just because of those bans. They are quite common in the league as well, but they're also just pretty common across the board. There's really nothing too special. I mean, we saw a couple really interesting bans coming out yesterday with a Nomad or a Montaigne or a Castle. So to see just pretty bog standard bans of Thatcher, who's been the most banned operator sort of in the game across the board, across all ranks and across all game modes for years now, pretty much since the ban. The operator bans were added into the game. Really not that surprising. Azami wasn't really too concerning when she first came out, but then when people started figuring out how to really use her, and when she started becoming a very important part of any attacking lineup, or any defending lineup, she definitely has seen her fair share of bans. Same as Solis, who pretty much from as soon as she got released 2 seasons ago, she's been the target of those bans, as has been Jackal. So pretty standard bans, that Azami, just to make sure that the defenders don't have too much control of certain areas of the map. Solis to make sure that these drones can actually make their way into the site, and of course to make sure that there's not somebody that can potentially gonna fly from below. And while I was talking with this 45 seconds that they've already gained, they've gained so much map control as well. They make their way inside of the site well and truly, and they've picked up already 2 kills as they start to flood the site more and more and more. Flashes are coming out, grenades are coming out, bullets are coming out, and there goes the plant going down. AW just having to retake the site, but there's so many angles for them to hold on to, including that big window that they're going to have to challenge onto as well. There goes a run out that takes out 2. Tash picking up 2 very, very important frags. Twift's picking up another one for himself as well, and now it's a 2 versus 2. They're looking to try and win this round. Mac down below, just trying to hold on, maybe try and kill somebody from below. Tash goes down. It's all down to Twift. 1 versus 2. He's doing some damage onto the Hibana on the window, but not really enough to mean anything. Trying to pick up a kill onto maybe the butt down below. That's Mac still giving him trouble, and he will just be sprinting straight into Joke's gunfire up on that window. the first round very, very convincingly goes to Voltage Gaming. I didn't really even have a chance to discuss their plan of attack, which was very much through that Solarium side. Normally, you see teams, do either a split push or a very linear push all the way from library, and then open up that wall into the half wall and gain control over the office balcony, maybe throw down some utility, try to get the plant down. But Voltage Gaming said, we don't need all of that. We really don't need to be trying that hard. We can just push into Solarium. They gained the information that they needed. They saw the smoke was really the only person inside of sight that they needed to think about. There was another person playing inside of piano. They took care of them from the window, and then with the grenade and to flush out the smoke from inside of the closet, they were free to attack the site and to get that plant down. And of course, with that window control, and as well as those air jabs cutting out any runouts, it really made it super easy for them to actually get that round win. And now AW, the vast favorites of this matchup, are looking to try and find something here. Something to note really about Arctic Wolves is the fact that they don't play Chalet all that much. For the past few seasons of multiple leagues, they have been consistently banning Chalet and not playing it ever. That changed last week when they played against Lumina Gaming and they won it in quite a confident fashion. So them going back to Chalet is still quite unexpected, even though they won it the last time that they played. So very, very, very interesting stuff coming out all around. Voltage are looking for a bit of a different push this time, realizing that Arctic Wolves are probably going to be way more aware of the push coming out from Solarium this time, so they are going for that library push instead. I'm just taking a little bit of damage, and there goes Park going down to P1, who's already inside of library. That control dwindling away. There goes Twift, swinging straight onto the attackers, takes down Joke. That's a hard breacher there. It's going to hurt P1 and I'm Just a Noob both pick up a piece for themselves, equalize the man count yet again at 3-3. And again, with that hard breacher gone now, as Joke goes down to Twift, they are not really able to breach any walls. I'm Just a Noob getting a little bit too excited on that window. Could have actually lost his life to Mac, but he does manage to fall back and away from it, so he's not actually going to be losing it too soon. We saw Gunter taking care of that Surya gate on the piano double door with his clone. Very, very free way of doing that, as you're not really losing too much utility, and those clones regenerate infinitely. Mac from the window does pick up Chips, who was hiding inside of that rotate. It was a really clever position for him to be holding, but only if there was no piano cover. And I'm Just a Noob, despite taking a little bit of damage, he downs one, but he's immediately traded out, and Mac with the final one to clean it up. Voltage are taking quite a big lead now here with 2 rounds to their name. Arctic Wolves just not being able to find anything at all to hopefully find themselves some sort of success. They are going to be going down into gaming a bar room to try and maybe find some success there. It is a very, very common both primary and secondary site. They are choosing it as their secondary site, and hopefully it works out a little bit better for them. It's a much more vertical site than bedroom is. Of course, there's not much that you can do vertically. Very rarely are you going to be playing a site vertically from below. I think the only times when you would really... I really don't even know. It's very, very rare. I think the only time that I can think of right now in this moment would be pre-rework Consulate on that split side. Of course, I don't know how it's going to play out now on the rework that came out last week with the new season. But yeah, very, very rarely are you going to see a vertical site be played from below vertically. So this one, they're going to be playing it vertically from above, which is going to probably give them a little bit more control over the actual map, and it's going to give them a little bit more of a tight spread rather than being, so So spread thin the way that they were on the bedroom side, where they had people, playing inside a piano, but then also people playing inside a library and people playing inside a solarium. And when you're spread so far apart, then losing any sort of advantage early is very, very damaging. So playing a very vertical, much more close to the chest site is hopefully going to do them some good. But Voltage Gaming already make quick work of gaining some map control. And oh no, Park getting a little bit distracted by the drone, aware of the push from the Yana, goes down. But there's Twift with the trade, immediately taking a lot of damage from the roof as well, is able to retreat safely and back up onto that shield. They've brought the Amaru as well, who I believe has already made her way inside of Solariums. That's typically where they go. Yep, already inside of Solarium, and now we'll be looking to try and find control inside of kitchen and dining. That is also now the very, very important push point for them to have covered in order to execute onto the sides. Of course, defenders could be hiding in there or could be flanking from there, and you don't want to give them that opportunity to do that. Using these terror drones to try and clear out the shield on top of the blue stairs, as well as the shield on the chimney position, to gain even more entries into sight, and of course to push back any defenders playing there. P1, and I do believe that's Twift, are going to be in a bit of an engagement here. There goes a flashbang to cover him off. I'm just too noob on the other side of the map, finds Mac. That's a good opening here from Arctic Wolves, finally finding another kill here, giving themselves the man advantage that they need to hold on to this round. But Twift gets a little bit too aggressive, goes down to P1. Unfortunately for that, man count equalized again at 3-3, 50 seconds to go, and they have the vertical control over the site. No smoke babes in the pocket of Arctic Wolves. They didn't go for the smoke pick, they went for the Tachanka pick instead, as he's the one that has the shield now. But he doesn't have the shield anymore. He doesn't have the fire either, as he goes down to the vertical play. Tash hiding inside a mudroom could just be the play, but only if it actually works out. So Dodaka drops the hatch, kills them just a noob, and now it's all down to Tash. Inside a mudroom, he does see the gun barrel of one. He picks up the second, and he knows the last one is on those stairs as well, but he's out of ammo, and it's Joke with the swing on the bearing 9 to find a final kill, put another round on the board for Voltage Gaming, and Arctic Wolves seem to just be struggling completely. Arctic Wolves calling for a rehost. Unfortunately, it looks like they have some issues going on with their current gameplay. Unfortunately, they're having a lack spikes as it turns out. So we will be going for a bit of a rehost, so we'll have a technical pause for a few moments. In that time, I guess I will discuss what so far has happened and what will continue to have to happen, or what will have to continue to happen, rather, in order for Arctic Wolves to hopefully regain some control here. So what has happened so far is Arctic Wolves losing those opening engagements is definitely not good for them. They were there for the trade, finally. Or not finally, they were there for the trade in the second round as well. They were there for the trades in the third round as well. So they're there for their trades, but they're immediately then traded out. Voltage are very, very good at sticking together and not giving Arctic Wolves the opportunity to get the refrag of a refrag. That might sound a little bit silly hearing it said that way, but typically what that refers to is you lose the opening engagement, the way that we just saw that in that office room where Park went down, and then immediately Twift was there to pick up the trade. And that was the first time where Twift didn't go down immediately, or whoever might have been responsible for picking up that refrag right away, because he took a lot of damage from the window, luckily managed to retreat safely, but did then die later on, and was that second kill for the side of Voltage Gaming. And that allowed, of course, Voltage Gaming to have so much more control than they really should have had at that moment, because it was about halfway through the round. They lost Twift, who was trying to still hold on to that kitchen area. and then with I think it was Matmak who was pushing down through there. I will say that it was Matmak, but I'm not entirely sure. So do not hold on to me. It was the Amaru rather, who was pushing there, and with a lot of that control gained, of course, then it ended up being an entire wipe from Tash and a very very close near clutch, but the control was still there. The control was established, and that is what Arctic Wolves lost, and that is what Arctic Wolves cannot let keep happening. They need to be there to pick up those refrags, or they need to start winning those opening engagements, as losing them could obviously come to a lot of the issues that we've seen from them now, including losing rounds, which has happened 3 times in a row. So now they're going to be looking to try and hopefully get a round win here, because on a much defender-sided Chalet, you really do not want to be losing rounds this way. I said this earlier, it's not super defender-sided. I think it's about 49 to 51% defender-sided, or 51 to 49 rather. And it's not hugely defender-sided, but it's defender-sided enough to the point where the defense does have an innate advantage, and taking that advantage, capitalizing off of the advantage that you have just from the side that you're playing, you really should not be losing 3 rounds in a row on defense and looking to scrape anything, because now Voltage Gaming have to secure themselves at least an even split so far in this matchup, or in this map rather, in this half, and they really only need one more round win to put themselves in quite a significant lead, to where they only really need to win 2 rounds on their defense, which, as I say, on the defensive side of the map, it is a lot easier to do, typically. Not to say that, Voltage Gaming haven't done a good job of attacking, but it does seem like Arctic Wolves seem to be struggling a little bit with their attacks, with their defenses, rather, apologies. It's going to be very interesting seeing how this actually plays out, because Arctic Wolves, the by far favorites of this matchup, losing 3 rounds in a row on defense, it's really not looking good for them. And Voltage have definitely gained a lot of momentum, gained a lot of confidence, and even with the technical pause that Arctic Wolves might have used a little bit to as a sort of tactical timeout, and tried to talk about what's going wrong and what they need to change or what they need to do in the rounds to come to hopefully pick up a round win. So hopefully we're going to see a bit of a different tactic here from Arctic Wolves, where they are there for those trades, or they are able to pick up those opening engagements. If not, at the very least, trying to hold on to the map control a little bit longer, because Voltage, other than being good at those opening engagements and picking up those trades, are very, very good at taking up space on the map very, very quickly, or they're good at pushing Arctic Wolves out, however you want to really look at it. But it means that Arctic Wolves are giving too much away too quickly. And it's really, really not been working out for them. I mean, we saw it time and time again. They gave away site completely in the first round. They gave away the entire Solarium side. They gave up the entire bedroom side. Basically, they only really had 2 players playing on site or near it. They lost them immediately, and then the site was Voltage's. And then in the second round, they gave up the entire library side pretty quickly. They lost a player immediately, went for a trade, got it, but immediately died to that attempt. And then in the third round, they gave up that entire top floor Solarium side of the map immediately. They had no intention of playing there at all. They had 1 player playing inside of Piano, or they had 2, but they again immediately lost that player. Then they got the trade, and then they gave the map control up again. And then they continued to give up map control downstairs as well when they lost Swift. So hopefully you're going to be a little bit better at holding on to map control and holding on to their lives, as currently their survival rate is really, really bad. Oh my goodness. For a moment, I looked at the side of Arctic Wolves and I wanted to point out their kills, and I was going to be like, oh my goodness, they have 0 kills, but that is, first of all, not true, because there has been no flawlesses coming up from Voltage, although they got close. And it's not, it's a rehost. So there's no kills on either side, which is going to mess with me a little bit, because then I will not be able to call back on that later on, and neither will you. But we're just going to have to keep a count in our heads about who so far has been doing the best job of getting those opening engagements and getting those important kills. Tash picking up to the cap count could be quite interesting, as of course it will force Voltage Gaming to drone a little bit more, waste more time, and they're not going to be able to take map control as quickly and as easily as they have been so far. As of course, if they try to go about it quickly, well, they could just lose their lives. If not, they could just lose a lot of HP, if not their lives, very early on. Tash was trying to contest from below, but ran out of ammo as he was trying to contest onto Mac, who I believe droned him out as well, and he finds that opening frag, is aware now of the Kapkan being present, and will surely relay that information to the rest of his team, who should be aware of it as well. Chips under attack from multiple angles, having to rotate in and out of his little cubby here. Park is there for help, but again, they have the window control, and Park was not aware of it at all. Gets shut down from the window, and again, they are just losing so many people and so much of that map control. Twift, I think, is going to be trying to challenge onto that window as well. Meanwhile, Chips is going to be under pressure from both the bathroom and the bedroom. The walls are getting opened up as well from inside the solarium. I'm just a noob, and a very, very deep Prom is having to try and go for a flank, maybe up those solarium stairs. Joke is already in sight, and he's planting right next to the smoke. He does find him with the shotgun at close range, and that will leave the diffuser in sight. There goes another swing. Chips with the shotgun at close range does find another one. He will finish him off with the smoke babe. There goes the swing in from the window. Just a noob finds him. It's effectively a 1 versus 2 as one of them is downed. He will get picked up though. Makes it a 3 versus 1 once again. And now it's all done to Mac to try and hold on to this round. He does find one. That's the smoke off the board. He does have diffuser now in hand. Swift on very, very low HP, but then again, so is Mac. The only person with sensible HP at the moment is I'm Just a Noob, who is the person that's challenging onto him, and he will find the kill and the round win, finally, for the side of Arctic Wolves. I apologize for the pause in talking about halfway through that round when it was really getting interesting. The weather has gone really, really south in the past about hour here, and that was a very, very, very scary thunderstorm. Thundering. Very, very loud. Very, very, very loud. I have my current setup turned up quite loud, so I can barely hear it over the game. Doesn't even matter. It's so loud. So I got a little bit frightened there. Normally I'm not too frightened of thunder, but that one was just loud. In any case, Arctic Wolves do find finally a round for themselves, cut that momentum in the bud, and they decide to go down into the basement site that isn't really all that common anymore. We see it from time to time. Teams still do like to bring it, as it's a very, back to basic site, but it is also very, very difficult to hold on to it. There are so many angles and so many situations that you find yourself in where you're just not really able to hold on to the site very effectively. For example, that front wall that we just saw Twift reinforce, should the attackers have control over that, and should they have the control of the bomb site as well, or have the angles cut off, that is very, very difficult to try and deny plants or rushes in there. Of course, the Tachanka or C4s make that a little bit easier, but it's still so difficult to actually pinpoint the kill onto the player, especially if they bring any sort of shields. Then that makes it so much more complicated. But likewise, the wine site, which tends to be the more common push point recently, is also very, very difficult to hold on to if they have that boiler room or that boiler wall control, and of course the top floor hatch control as well. Very, very difficult to hold on to it. They are going for a top floor roam clear. Currently located up there is only Tash, who is getting called as the logic bomb gets deployed, so they know exactly where he is. They're pushing him out, and they do take up space on the top floor, flush him out of there, and now he's going to have to try and hold on to that mid floor for as long as possible, having wasted a minute only on that top floor. They have some vertical destruction in their pocket, of course, with Ash and those breach charges that are surely going to be giving them a bit of an angle into the site itself. And of course, they have so much more of it now with Buck. Mr. Mac trying to find out Tash, who is still holding steady inside of Trophy and is being joined swiftly by Twift inside of West Main as well. So they're going to be holding on to this side of the map for as long as possible. Halfway through the round, or a little bit over halfway through, and Twift will find the first pick onto P1, but Joke is there for the trade, and Tash is there for the trade of the trade. He's immediately traded out. How many times can I say trade in one sentence? I guess count that one out and you'll know. Man count equalized yet again as Didaka finds the final one of that engagement, and now with control over the mid floor as well, they have full reign of that hatch and could even have an in into the site. They did lose their primary hard reach of the thermite, so it's going to be a little bit harder for them to actually breach open any of the remaining walls. They use those Gaunt 6s as well to try and clear the utility, those shields. Mr. Mac still alive and well, using the skeleton key to gain a little bit more vertical control, but as Park and I'm just a noob find the rest of his team, it's all down to him. He's gonna have to push down the blue stairs. Park is aware of him, and he brings it down to 1 HP before he finally cleans it up. And another round here coming Arctic Wolf's way. Slowly but surely they are climbing, and they could be looking at an even split here as we see the final round of the half so far. They're going back to the bar and gaming. It is a site that I think that they came the closest to winning before the technical restart that we had to have, where it came down to a 3 versus 3. Then they completely shut down everybody of the defense, or the 2 remaining defenders, and it was all down to Tash hiding inside of Mudroom. Picked up 2, could have very well picked up the 3rd one as well, but he ran out of ammo, and then it was having to, you know, just stare down Habana with a bearing 9 to try and win the round, and he just wasn't able to. That was the final round that we had before the rehost. Can Articles pick up a round here this time, or will their recent success of the past 2 rounds be completely erased by Voltage Gaming winning up another one? Considering the fact that the only round that they really won on merit was that previous round where they defended basement. They had so much map control for so long. It's what I said needed to change, where they need to be able to pick up the refrags of the refrags, which Tash and Twift were very much capable of doing with each other. And they needed to be better at holding on to map control, which is another thing that they were able to do for quite a long time. They wasted about 2 minutes on that roam, and even after they lost both Tash and Twift, they had also picked up 2 kills and wasted 2 minutes. So very, very good job of doing that. But now they're going back. But in the round before that, when they were defending Bedroom, it really came down to the fact that Voltage sort of just rushed in without really having droned out enough of the areas, and then they half of the team died to chips with the shotgun. So this time they were looking to maybe gain a little bit more of that control, but Gunter is there to pick up the first kill onto Park, who is so far, I think, been the player with the most opening deaths the entire game. I think the only time that he didn't die first was the last round that we just saw, where he was the one to pick up the last kill. Twift's getting challenged onto, playing this chimney position. Very, very important position for the defense to be holding onto, and this time they let go of the Tachanka, went for the smoke instead, who, of course, used to be the default player and the default operator in this position, has been replaced for a lot of teams by Tachanka because he has the shield. Now Twift does pick up one. As that shield goes down, he picks up another one. Very, very, very nice kill. Chips on the other end picks up another one at the P1, and now it's a 2 versus 4 for Voltage, just trying to hold on to this round. Are they going to be able to hold on to it? They find a kill onto Twift, who was getting a little bit too excited up on those stairs. Twift, however, picking up his trade. The duo very much still in motion, although they got shut down now as well, as Tash goes down to Joke, the only remaining attacker. Diffuser is currently not in his control. He's going to have to retake it and find it, destroying those frost mats as well in the process of trying to take some map control upstairs. He's aware that somebody might be flanking up those library stairs. The default cams are still very much alive and spotting him. He does shoot out a couple of them to try and deny as much information as possible. 30 seconds to go for him in a 1 versus 2. Chips has all of his utility pretty much still intact, and Namjust has both of those impact grenades as well, so they can do damage from very, very far away without even really needing to engage at close range with their bullets, but they will be engaging with close range with their bullets as Namjust. A swing and a kill. Finds the last one, finds the round for Arctic Wolves, and what was looking to be very much a round for, very much a half for Voltage. Arctic Wolves do manage to find themselves not 1, not 2, but 3 rounds, make it an even split, and now as they go into the attacking half, they are looking to take the lead and try to pick up some points. Thunder, again, very, very loud. I am not often scared of things happening, but whenever there's thunder, I am a little bit afraid that, it's going to strike the building that I'm in, and, my entire setup is gonna go up in flames. Because it's happened before, so, it's a fear rooted in rationale, unlike most fears tend to be, but Voltage Gaming going for their first defensive round and going to the kitchen site instead. It's a site that we have not seen before so far in this matchup, as so far it has always been whenever Arctic Wolves are defending it, they never defended this site. So it's going to be interesting to see how actually plays out. Or is it not? Wait, what the heck? Okay, I was wrong. It is actually bedroom. It looked like kitchen from the top-down view when I was looking at it. So my apologies for any confusion. It is actually the bedroom and upper site. I really don't know how I got confused about that. I think I was thinking about the thunder too much. But in any case, they will be defending the bedroom site. And Arctic Wolves seem to be going for a much similar to one of the pushes that we saw from Voltage, but still pretty different, as they are doing a split push rather than an all-out push, the way that we saw Voltage do even when they attacked from the library side. It is a split push from up top and below onto the library, and I do believe that players are also going to be attacking onto the Solarium side as well. They're already taking care of some of this utility, but of course, Joke is denying a lot of that utility from being deployed. For example, those Selma charges getting caught by the Wamai magnets, denying them the ability to clear him out of the position that he's currently holding on that chimney just by the library. But they do have active pings on him, and they know he's there, so all he really needs to do is overextend a little bit, and they will pick up the kill, so he definitely does not want to be doing that. There's a player upside down repelled on the window as well. Gunter taking a little bit of damage from an early engagement. That's Twift with the first one onto Gunter all the way downstairs inside of Barroom, and now they're going to have another entry point to this library side from below P1, trying to hold on to that push from up top on the stairs, but he gets shut down as Twift is there, and he's not alone. They're going to be pushing up now, finds his frost map, but it gets shut down immediately. Jamjust is there for the trade, but so is Mac. Mac doing a lot of damage from a faraway angle of the Tash, who is being contested by the Wamai still. Mac will find Tash from that same faraway angle, equalize the man count at 2-2. And as we reach the final minute of the round, Park and Chips are having to try and win this round for the side of Arctic Wolves. All Voltage need to do is just hold on to the site and not allow them to really get an enter there. Par could have maybe gotten a kill there onto Mr. Matmac, who was rotating around, but was not able to unfortunately find it. Tried to use the impact lifeline to maybe get rid of the frost map, but was unable to as it got swallowed by the ADS. So he had to shoot it as he jumped in. Both players now find themselves inside of Piano. Meanwhile, the defenders are site adjacent. The plane is going down inside of office. Ships tucked away in the corner. Park will find Joke and outside onto Mr. Matmac in a post plant 2 versus 1. He will not find anything as Park finds him instead with the headshot. Final kill. Another round goes to Arctic Wolves. And they are looking a lot better for wear than we saw them in the first couple of rounds. Voltage lost their first their first side of the first round. Oh my god, the first round of defense. I don't know why I get so confused there. I'm a little bit all over the place today. I really do apologize to anybody watching that is confused or bothered by it. I truly don't know what's happening. But Voltage did lose the first round of their defense, as did Arctic Wolves. So that makes me think back to when I spoke about the statistics of this map, where it's only about 51% defender sided. It could just be that it's one of those days when the attack is just better. Or it could be that technical pause that Arctic Wolves needed to have due to the lag spikes that they were having is exactly what they needed to regain their composure and to really put their heads into this game to be going for the win. Very, very possible, of course. If they were struggling with lag spikes in those first couple of rounds, it would explain why they were losing some of those first head-on engagements that they were having and why they were really unable to pick up any sort of advantage whatsoever. Joke playing this position on the chimney again, being challenged onto again. Multiple players pushing him from the library side. Wasted quite a bit of time last time that he was here, but of course got pushed out of it anyway as they started pushing up those library stairs. They're going to have multiple attacks onto him. A very, very nice adaptation from the side of Arctic Wolves. This last time the Selma charges got swallowed by the ADS, or rather the Wumai Magnet, so they brought the Habana instead, whose pellets cannot be swallowed. But they can indeed be destroyed by an impact grenade, which is exactly what Joke used to get rid of them. They flush him out of the position, and now he is down below, roaming alongside Gunter P1. And Daka, pretty much the entire defense at the moment is either in basement or on that mid floor, which I don't think that Arctic Wolves are aware of as of yet. But Twift is aware of somebody may be coming up from those stairs and finds the kill onto Gunter. The opening engagement once again going the way of Arctic Wolves, who now have a little bit more of an advantage. Joke still playing inside of Bar, getting droned out heavily. I wonder if they found P1 as well. And from vertical angles, I'm just a noob is trying to find the Wumai, still hiding inside of Bar. And he might just find him. He finds a lot of damage. He finds the down. Cannot quite get the finisher, and he will not be finding the finisher either as... Oh, wow. Or, never mind. He will be. I thought for sure he would get shut down by the player who was also roaming down there, but I think that was P1 who actually came back up, and then... actually, no, it was Daka that was down there, and they found both of them instead. I'm just a noob at Twift working in tandem to find those kills. It's all down to Mr. Matmac and P1 to try and deny not only a flawless round from Arctic Wolves, but just the round itself. Flashes are coming out. Quite all of the utility is getting deployed. 30 seconds to go. One player makes his way inside of the half wall, and the plant will be going down. There goes the swing from Mr. Matmac. He finds one, but they immediately trade him out as they find P1, and there goes I'm Just a Noob and Mr. Matmac with the final self-trade in a post-plant situation already. The flawless round is denied, but the round still goes to Arctic Wolves, who put themselves a step away from match point, step away from 3 points, or at the very least 1 point. and are looking a lot better than we saw them look in those first 3 rounds. I truly do wonder if this is the Articles that we were meant to be seeing the entire time, and it was just technical difficulties that prevented them from achieving this in the first 3 rounds, because so far they are on an absolute tear of winning 5 rounds in a row since that technical pause, and they are very, very much denying any sort of pressure that the Voltage are able to put up against them on their defenses. Now going down into the gaming and bar room, which Voltage, Articles rather, lost once and won once. The first time that they played it, it was a very, very close 1 versus 3 turned 1 versus 1 for Cash, who was just not able to pick up the final kill. Gunter seems to be going for a bit of a spawn peek here as well, which could indeed give him some early advantage should somebody come there, but it looks like they spotted it out. A couple shots coming out onto those windows as well, but also they didn't come the right way for the spawn peek to really be successful, so he decided to pull back, and now he's going to be challenged onto from the trophy window instead. Oh wow, he finds him through the wall. I'm just a noob, just pre-firing through the wall, finds Gunter and shuts down a little bit of this roaming presence from the side of Voltage Gaming. Still another player there, meanwhile the rest of them still trying to hold on to the site or nearby it. P1 having to rotate through the hatch and outside of the dining room where we last saw him. Mr. Mac trying to hold off the push coming up from the Solarium side. The P1 downstairs inside of Wine could just be looking for a bit of a flank if they do not spot him, which so far they haven't. I'm sure they will be in no time. Quite a lot of information still left on the side of Arctic Wolves. I mean, all of their drones, apart from one, are still alive and going, making their way around and through the map. Very, very good utility usage from them. As we see Joke sitting on these fireplace stairs, we saw these fireplace stairs be very, very, very important for a lot of teams. Is it going to be the case here for Joke as well? He finds one. Cannot quite find a second. Tash, however, taking quite a lot of damage, now being left with only about half for the rest of these engagements. A lot of those flashes coming out as well to deny, to help break that shield as they start to burn utility. But of course, there's the mine magnets as well as Jaeger ADSs to deny as much of that utility from coming through as possible. And Joke is still vastly unbothered inside of Library, but he finds one onto Twift. Joke will find another one with the Tash, and now it's all onto Park, and I'm just a noob to try and salvage this round. He swings onto one, but immediately gets shot down from a different angle. I'm just a noob in a 1 versus 4, trying to find the round, finds one. Still 3 to go. Joke on very, very low HP could be the next in, but of course he will be rotating all the way back down to site, leaving him with only 40 seconds to go to try and win this round. One player still creeping up those library stairs, although he decides to pull back as well. P1 will be holding a long angle from the bar door, and those cameras surely will be doing him quite a lot of good. Will be doing Voltage quite a lot of good, as they will be able to spot out where he is coming from and where he is going. Shoots both of them, however, but now he's got very, very low time. Doesn't really have enough vertical control to be able to do something. He does find Joke. That was the player who was working with very low HP. Without the diffuser, he is now in sight, but both of the players are hiding, and although he deals a little bit of damage there to the Daka at the end, he is really just not able to find anything more than that. And despite getting the opening kill, they were not able to find the round win. So far, the only times when they didn't get the opening kill but won the round was all the way back in round 4. Other than that, whichever team gets the opening pick wins the round. Of course, the exceptions being this round that we just saw, where it was P1 with the first opening kill. It wasn't P1. Apologies. I think it was I'm Just Too Noob with the first opening pick onto Gunter, and they were just not able to find the round win off of that opening kill. But now, actually defending Kitchen, which I was mistaken of them doing all the way back in round 7, they will be defending Kitchen, and it's set up similarly to the way that people defend Bedroom, except, you know, a lot more reinforcements. For example, play like that, reinforcing between sites, you really don't see much of that in competitive play. On the Bedroom side defense, of course, when you're defending the Kitchen, you have to be reinforcing as much as possible upstairs to just deny as much of that utility, to deny as much of that map control for the attackers as is possible. Waste their time, waste your utility, and hopefully waste their lives as well. Heavy top floor presence, but not so much the roam or map presence, as of course it's only on this northern side of the map. No one's really bothering with library, which is some teams like to extend all the way back up into there, but it is not the way that Voltage like to play it. They play it a little bit closer to the chest and are just forcing Arctic Wolves to come to them. There goes the push in from the office balcony, and Park makes his way inside of the office and will have free reign of the soft flooring that is before him, where he will be able to potentially find a kill from those vertical angles. There goes a C4 that, despite him sitting on the desk, finds the kill anyway, and Park, having done only a little bit of vertical damage, is the first one down yet again for the side of Arctic Wolves. P1 will be challenging onto the remaining attackers inside a piano. We'll find one. There goes the hard pings. He will find another one. Chips finally in for a refrag onto Mac.
Bomb diffuser. Loading mag.
Another one is down, and it's effectively a 1 versus 4 for I'm Just a Noob, as Chips is at the moment irretrievable. He knows that there's a player pushing him from the library side on the window, but not much he can do about that. He'll have to drop away. They finish off Chips, his teammate, and now it's all down to 4 I'm Just a Noob on the Ash. Diffuser lost, gone, very much dead on the ground. There goes a run out. He does find Gunter on the run out. Voltage Gaming a little bit too aggressive than they really need to, but aware that they can fool around a little bit and still not really have it be too much of an issue. There goes the jump in from the window. Can he find Dodaka? Yes, he can. 1 versus 2 now. This is a much better situation for him to be in. He will find a down with the joke, and now it's all down to P1 to try and stop the tear from Just a Noob, and he will find the final kill to finish off the round. Arctic Wolves lose this one after it looked so very promising for them with that clutch, or almost clutch, coming out from Just a Noob, but unfortunately he was not able to find a final kill. And the timeout is requested from the side of Arctic Wolves. They decided that whether or not Just a Noob was able to pick up that kill, that final one, they are just aware that something is going terribly, terribly wrong, and they need to figure it out before it gets any worse. I mean, I say terribly, terribly. That is really quite aggressive and quite an overstatement. You know, sides are equal currently at 5-5, and they are definitely looking straight down the barrel of at least a single point from this map, if not all 3, or if not 2. You know, who knows, maybe we do get to see overtime. You really never know. But there's still something wrong that happened in that map. I mean, or in that round. They just allowed P1 to destroy them upstairs. They lost 3 players in very, very quick succession. They just were not aware of his presence inside of bathroom, and of course Park just thinking that he was safe on top of that table was indeed not safe. The C4 explosion is much too strong for him to be able to evade death there. So they hopefully have figured out what went wrong. Maybe it was a little bit of miscommunication, as they did all seem to just be stacked up in one doorway, staring down into piano without really trying to gain any more map control than that, without really slowing down and thinking about what they're gonna do, thinking about what they could do. And they lost pretty much everybody up there, apart from just a noob who was not able to pick up the clutch. So hopefully for them,
Deploying jammer.
they will be able to rectify any of the mistakes that they have made, and will be able to find themselves around here to put themselves on match point, and to hopefully pick up a couple points for themselves as well. Back to defending bedroom,
Setting the welcome mat.
a site that
Loading mag.
so far has only been won by AW. They are the only team that has, at least in this half, I should say, as of course, it was won twice by Voltage when they were attacking. But of course, I mean, in this half, so far this site has only been won by the side of Arctic Wolves, and Arctic Wolves this time are making much quicker work of clearing out some of those magnets and clearing out some of that utility as they start to clear out that wall as well. But Mac again with that very, very far and away angle takes down him. Just to new of the star players so far in this lobby. They do find Joke, however, and they do push him out of the position that he was playing on top of the chimney. So again, very, very quick work of clearing out the player that's playing there, and are able to gain so much more map control than they really should be having at the moment. Twift makes his way inside of the balcony from, or inside of the mezzanine from the balcony, but the Daka is on the default cams, which a bit of a rookie mistake to have those still be up. And Gunter is, I do believe, still in the room. He could be doing some damage from below if AW are not careful. Twitch getting a little bit aggressive here on the office balcony doorway. Park using his utility to try and clear out the utility set up by the defense inside of piano. Twift still challenging onto the players playing inside of Solarium and the closet all the way from outside. Getting shot at a little bit, but not enough to really mean much. Less than a minute to go, and Arctic Wolves really don't have much of a semblance of control. Twift does pick up the Joke, that faraway angle working in his favor, but they don't have the wall open. Of course, they don't have any soft destruction remaining with the loss of the Ash. They cannot do anything to get into potentially that wall that was unreinforced. They have to instead use chips and his Habana pellets. Twift still challenging onto from the office balcony, but there's Daka from below who could be going for either a C4 or just pure old shotgun bullets.
Let's see them hide now.
Which one will it be? Twift goes for a line scan. He pushes in and he immediately goes down to the player playing down below. That's the Daka with the shotgun at close range. They finally trade him out. There goes the jump in as Park finds one. The plant going down from the side of Chips. Twift will find Gunter as well. It's all down to P1. The star player from the previous round will not find anything. AW win the round, put themselves on match point, and secure themselves at least 1 point in this map. Or in this matchup, rather, even. That definitely propels them to the top of the leaderboard so far, or to the top of the standings in the Champions League so far, as... Actually, no, it does not. It does not. My math was off. No, because they have 9. I thought that they had 4. I don't know why. I truly. But in any case, AW put themselves quite a bit ahead of at least Voltage Gaming, who are still chasing points, really, in this season so far. They lost their previous matchup in round 1. Both maps lost in regulation, so they picked up no points. And they've just lost themselves a point already. So they can now win a maximum of 5 points from this matchup when there were 6 on the offer. Going back down into gaming room.
10 seconds left before insertion.
That mid-floor site. One that they won quite confidently the last time that they played it, all the way back in round 9. Won it quite confidently. Denied any sort of push coming up from Arctic Wolves, despite losing that opening engagement. I'm just new playing the Nook. Could be a bit of trouble for the side of Voltage Gaming if they are not ready. We see Nook get banned quite often. She's one of the most banned attackers and one of the most banned operators in general. So him pushing out from anywhere really and not being spotted by any of those cams could seriously be trouble. Joke still holding onto the window up from the hatch. I'm just a noob. I think will be first trying to use his grenades to try and clear out the shield that is in this top library position. But the first engagement will be coming up between Twift and Gunter, and this time it will be Gunter that will win it. The previous time Gunter lost it. That was the opening pick that went Arctic's way, and they still weren't able to win the round. Despite that, P1 will find Tash. Chips looking for a refrag. He does find P1 finally. 3 versus 4 as the Daka is also down on these library stairs. I think they might be able to retrieve him, but only if they are quick with it and if they are able to secure him here on these library stairs. They do find him, but Gunter is now sort of in the middle of the hallway. Ooh, getting a little bit dicey, taking a lot of damage there from that was Chips having to fall back away. And now, despite it being 4 versus 2 for the side of Voltage, a couple of their players are working with very low HP, so they could just be going down to only about a bullet's worth from the side of Arctic Wolves, who are all still working with full HP. Still have those firebolts in pocket as well from the side of Park. Chips now clearing out all the rest of the remaining utility on the top floor. Gunter is still sitting pretty inside of Piano, completely uncontested. Meanwhile, I'm just a noob, thinks that he is completely safe to be traversing through the dining room in Kinshid to maybe try and find some control there. If you remember all the way back in round 3, this is what basically gave the round over to Voltage Gaming as they managed to take control over that kitchen side. There goes the Habana pellets as well to break, I believe, the hash, and Chips finds Mr. Mac. Now the remaining defenders are all have all taken a little bit of damage, as is Chips. Chips will find Gunter. Didaka has made his way all the way up those fireplace stairs and could just be looking for a trade here. He finds one. Can he find the second one? He's working with very low HP. The diffuser is dropped in sight. Close range. He finds another one. That shotgun still as deadly as ever. Park inside of sight. Picks up the diffuser. Has to be going for a plant inside a bar. Didaka will let him plant, but he finds him just at the cusp of the time. Finds the final kill. Finds the round. And, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing overtime in a 3-3 fashion. Both halves were played. 3-3 was the split in the first half. 3-3 was the split in the second one. Are they asking for another rehost, or did I misread that? I think I misread it. I think they're just saying something about the reload animation, perhaps. But yeah, we are seeing overtime. So Voltage Gaming now as well secure themselves their first point so far in the season. Would they secure themselves more than that one? Could they be securing themselves another one? It's up for grabs. Either of these teams, whoever wins first. Well, not really whoever wins first, but whoever wins 2 rounds in a row first will be the one to pick up that final remaining. What's it called? Point. Back down into basement they go. It is a site that they won single-handedly on merit without it being the case of having to readapt to what Voltage were doing all the way back in the first half. If you remember, they defended Bedroom Gaming and they defended Basement as well. Bedroom and Gaming, they lost them first, then they won them. Basement, they won outright. They really did not need to worry about it. They won it outright, and it was all at the back of the roaming achieved from Tash and Twift. They were playing in 10 together all the way upstairs, and they were able to find a couple kills from there, as well as 2 minutes wasted from the attack as well. So very, very good roam presence from them, and it looks like they will be doing just that yet again, although Twift is a little bit further away this time, and P1 makes his way inside of Trophy Room. Could even be finding his first engagement here against Twift, who, if he wasn't aware of him before, is definitely aware of him now as he shoots that camera, but it doesn't look like they are. Nope, there we go. There goes the awareness, although Twift is looking the other way instead, trying to maybe get to somebody on the library stairs. Meanwhile, Tash is trying to push down those solarium stairs to try and cut down this attack coming up from P1, taking a lot of damage, and Mr. Mac is there to pick up the first kill into Tash. The roam game this time not as strong as it was before. We see Twift having to rotate all the way back and away. He will be pushing up those stairs, and oh no, he whiffs. He whiffs as Gunter jumps down on top of him, and the round that was so good for them back then, it looks like Voltage adapted onto them perfectly to shut down that roam. Justinu pushes up the stairs, does find Joke, so the remaining exothermic charge will not be doing anything and will not be achieving anything for the side of Voltage Gaming, but they have 90 seconds and 4 people. More than enough time, more than enough utility, more than enough men to try and still pick up the round when they will be opening up that hatch as well with the remaining secondary hard breach in the pocket of Mac, pushing down those stairs just a little bit as Gunter to take care of the Melusi Banshee, pushing down the stairs now farther down, trying to contest the player playing behind the shelf, and it looks like that would be I'm just a noob trying to get a little bit aggressive, trying to maybe find an in for his team, but gets shut down. Ships there for the refrag onto Gunter. Oh no, he sets himself on fire. He sets himself on fire, is promptly flashed, and cannot do anything. It's all down to Parky yet again in a 1 versus X. He finds 1, still needs to find 2. It's Nataka with a very hard-hitting DMR from a very far and away angle. Mac, with the diffuser now down, also has his gun up. Park working with very low HP. He's gonna have to try his hardest to win this round for Arctic Wolves. He does find Mr. Mac. Now he only needs 1, but it's the Daka from the stairs to find that 1 instead. And VG are looking at the match point, or they are looking at the round win, the map win. They're looking at 2 points. Overtime match point for them now. This is going to be absolutely crucial for them here and now. They do not want to take a risk of taking Arctic Wolves back onto defense, because who knows what they might bring out. A couple of those rounds really were won quickly from the side of Arctic Wolves, although back in the first half. Gaming room and bedroom don't really want to be giving them the opportunity to win it again. They want to close it out. They're going back down into kitchen. It is a round just before the tactical timeout that we saw Arctic Wolves take. So far, the only tactical timeout that we've seen in this matchup. It was all the way back in round 10, and they lost everybody upstairs. It was P1 getting very, very aggressive on this exact doorway, where they see Mr. Mac putting a camera down on. He swung from that doorway, killed a couple of them from there. I think he killed 2 of them. Then it was his teammate to pick up another one, and then it was all down to Just a Noob in a 1 versus 4 clutch situation. He found 2.5 as he did down Joke, but he was not able to find a final one onto P1, who finished him off, won the round, and equalized the scoreline at 5-5 all the way back then. Now, looking to win this map, Voltage are going to have to put up a similar fight as last time, and all provided that Arctic Wolves play into their hand perfectly, they should just be finding the round win. 45 seconds gone. Still no engagements coming up really from anybody. Just some shots firing from some of those guns, but not really toward anybody. Just sort of trying to pre-fire common spots, common angles, trying to shoot through walls. Maybe they pick up an easy, quick kill. Park with the sledge this time. Last time he was the butt, got C4'd from below, despite sitting on top of the desk. This time he is bringing the sledge, who is a little bit more mobile and is able to evade those C4s a little bit easier, as he's able to just run away as soon as he shoots that. As soon as he used the sledgehammer, Gunter tried to go for a run out from below, gets shut down from Twiff, who had the information necessary and was able to pick up the kill. Here comes a grenade as well. Clears out that camera, doesn't really clear out the shield. It was overcooked just a little bit. He burnt that one. Where Tash, however, pushing up close to this wall, right up on the shield, and he gets swung from Mr. Matmac. I really don't know what he was expecting. The grenade will get swallowed by the ADS, but Didaka from the window will find another one. Park finding another one to joke. There goes I'm Just a Noob, finding one on to P1. Mr. Matmac and Didaka trying to win in this 2 versus 3. Make it a 2 versus 2 as Mr. Matmac, for cool points, finds Chips as he was falling down the hatch with that DMR. 2 versus 2, still trying to do some vertical damage. Mr. Matmac in a compromised position, still trying to hold on to the side of Trophy, but his moving around is heard by I'm Just a Noob at the moment. Park still trying to do some vertical damage. From above, it's Mr. Matmac all the way from below instead of basement. Very, very far away vertical angle to find Park. And now Voltage Gaming in a 2 versus 1 with only 10 seconds to go against Park are looking straight in the eyes of 2 points, and they will get them. Voltage Gaming win the round, win the matchup at an 8-6 fashion, pick up 2 points, their first 2 so far in this matchup, and stun everybody speechless because everybody was expecting this to be a complete blowout from Arctic Wolves. Last season's winners, this season's favorites to win it again, just got shut down on Chalet. We'll be taking a short break. The next map will be Oregon between these 2 teams. Arctic Wolves are chasing a couple more points as Voltage Gaming finally put themselves on the board on the leaderboard, standings-wise. Before we go, I will crown I'm Just a Noob the MVP of this map. I think his work of getting those... What? Wolves lost? What? Oh, Wolves lost Lamau. Oh my god, sorry. I cannot give it down Just a Noob because they lost. I was a little bit confused. I understood you last. I'm talking to the producer Happy at the moment. I understood him that he said Wolves last, and I thought, why are you telling me? I said that's not even true on the leaderboard. But no, yeah, Wolves lost. Okay, well that complicates things because I wasn't really thinking about who to give it on the side of Voltage. Oh, there was quite a few that were very, very good at doing what they needed to do. I think that one round from P1 was definitely very, very crucial. Gunter had quite a few. I think I will give it to Didaka for this one. Oh, Mr. Matmac, actually. Oh, I don't know. I'll give it to... Bro, I can't give it to P1. I'll give it to Mr. Matmac this time. But, of course, as I say, 7 rounds of gameplay. There's still another whole map to play, and no one really knows the outcome. Yeah, it's another, 10 games, another 10 maps for these people to play, plus the playoffs, which a Voltage very, very well could be making their way into. So much time for all of that to happen, and for everybody to get their MVP title. We'll be taking a short break. When we come back, it will be Oregon. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. everyone, and welcome back to Revival League Season 2. My name is Retro. You already know what it is. It is round 2 of Champions League. We've got Voltage Gaming versus Arctic Wolves. They've already played a map so far. It was Chalet. It was quite a banger of a matchup as well. It went all the way into overtime, and it was Voltage Gaming against all odds and against all predictions and expectations that won it 8-6 against Arctic Wolves. Last season's winners, this season's favorites by far and away, and of course the defending champions. So the fact that they were able to find those 2 points, their first 2 so far in this season, very, very, very good job of them to find success. And now we're looking to pick up a couple more. Could even be all 3 in this matchup on Oregon. Quite a shock this has been that Arctic Wolves were, lost that map the way that they did. Some leeway maybe should be given to Arctic Wolves and the fact that they don't actually play Chalet all that often. It is a map that they had banned consistently for seasons upon seasons, both in Revival and other leagues. So for them to come out onto Chalet for the second time so far this season, where they won it in quite a confident fashion, I think it was a 7-1 win against Lumina last week. Very impressive for them to even bring it all the way into overtime, considering that it is a map that they do not play. But Oregon is a map that they play pretty frequently, and it is a map that they have a pretty good win record on as well, as does Voltage. So this should be quite entertaining game here between these 2 teams. The bans have come out, and it's, again, pretty box standard. It's pretty much the exact same ban lineup that we saw in the game previous, except the only difference is the fact that Cade is banned now and Azami is let through, where the previous map, it was the other way around, where the Cade was allowed to stay and Azami was not. But now, as they head on to their defensive side, for the first time again, or rather, for the first time here on Chalet, they started an attack, and they struggle a little bit, then they struggle a little bit on defense as well. Both halves were finished at a 3-3 split, and then they won it 2-0 in overtime. Or they won their overtime 2-0. So now, defending first, they will be going all the way up top to start this match off. Typically, you will see teams bringing that basement defense for the first defensive round, but Voltage Gaming are thinking that they do not need to rely on the simplicity and how easy it is to win that basement side and just going up top first. And a couple things to note here are, of course, the fact that they are bringing Tachanka, who, since the new season, has gotten a little bit more favoritism than Smoke, who used to be the sort of default pick for a lot of teams, just because Smoke unfortunately lost his shield. And another thing of note is the fact that they were bringing Fenrir, the brand new operator that came out just last week in Year 8 Season 2 Operation Dread Factor. He is only allowed as of this round, so last round you could not have seen him, just because he was banned, as we did a little poll of our players, and the players then themselves decided that he should be allowed in the season right away, but from round 2 to give teams a little bit more time to learn how the gadget works in scrims and such. Tash tried to go for, I think, a vertical grenade instead. Does a bit of a suicide as the grenade gets cooked a little bit too much. We saw him do this before on Chalet, except last time, he overcooked it a little bit, and it exploded a little bit too far away from the utility he was trying to clear out. This time, he full-on burnt his toast with that grenade, and is now having to look out from outside. Didaka tried to do something, or tried to get on the cams, rather, from that breach and got shut down instead, as I'm Just a Noob finds another one in this matchup so far onto Gunter. I think that's P1 being chased downstairs as well. As we have 75 seconds left in the round, Joke will find Park.
Keep our barrier up.
In the next engagement, 3 versus 3. joke deactivating a couple of those Fenrir gadgets as well to try and have more of those codes. Of course, you can only ever have 3 active at the same time. You get 5 total. And of course, if you deactivate an active Fenrir gadget that has not been deployed yet, you can get the code back and then activate a different one and coordinate with the push of the attackers. Twitch trying to do a little bit of damage onto those walls from outside, but a couple of those pellets get shot. There come the flashbangs as well. It bounces off. They're just not having a good time with these projectile utilities. P1 pushing back down those stairs, misses the player that has pushed his way in from the breach, but he shuts him down anyway, nullifying any sort of damage that he was able to create. Actually, no, that's the Chips is still there, and he goes for a swing, finds the kill, but Mr. Mac will find his teammate of Twift, and now it's all down to Chips and a 1 versus 2 to try and win this round. Even if he was able to kill Mac, which he was not, he was very unlikely to find the win in that round, as he was stuck in a goo mine, which would have prevented him from planting, and the round would have gone to VG regardless. But it goes indeed to VG. I guess I'll have to give it to AW for the opening kill. I was trying to think, but technically the opening death comes to Wolves, but it was a suicide, so I don't know if they should really be getting the opening kill for that either. But very, very interesting information actually from the previous map is that most of the time, with 2 rounds exception, whichever team got the opening pick ended up winning the round. That tends to be the same across all of Siege. That tends to be the way that it works. It usually will be the team that gets the opening pick, just because you gain so much of an advantage with that opening pick. You gain so much map control, you gain that man advantage. The opponents might lose a lot of utility depending on what the operator is. For example, if Solis had not been banned, she just might have been, that opening pick, and all of a sudden, a lot of that information, a lot of that intel would just get passed. If you maybe lose a Warden, then you cannot really deny the pressure coming up from potentially Ying or any flashbangs. Similarly on defense, similarly on attack, if you lose, somebody like a hard breacher or even at Ying, then your attack is nullified quite a bit. But Gunter, in a very early engagement, could even be finding a couple kills here, but he's gonna get swung on. I think he tried to go for a knife, and I'm just a noob, but he's too quick with it. Finds the headshot instead and finds the opening pick, and this is another situation where it's not so much the operator it's not so much the operator who's important, but it's the player. He was the backbone of that roam. There's only Mac left on the roam, and he's doing a very, very shallow one, and actually he retreats back into the attic or back into the tower further up, so he's going to be even less prepared for a potential gunfight, meaning that Gunter was really the only active and aggressive roamer for the side of Voltage Gaming, given so much map advantage and map control over to Arctic Wolves, who, working with a full roster, are gaining so much more intel about where these defenders are and are not. And it looks like the attack might even be coming out all freezer and main, but no, as they will be making their way inside of meeting instead, and P1 will be the next line of defense there, or as he drops away. It's not so true anymore. Halfway through the round, and Articles are starting to look at doing some breaching for themselves, trying to gain some advantage through these hatches as well. They do spot up Mr. Mac up on those tower stairs. So, no, there's still another roamer up there. It's just a matter of whether they are going to actually be going to try and push him out from there or not. He does manage to retreat from his current position to dock up with those smoke babies, while denying as much of this push as possible. Those Habana pellets will not get the chance to, or will they get the chance to? They do get the chance to destroy that mirror window. The Daka going down to Park. Another one will get shut down. The Chips is there with the swing. Park now making his way inside of sight. Will shut down P1, and it's all down to Mr. Mac. The once roamer, now sole operator on the defense. I'm just a noob. Shuts him down the would-be MVP of the previous game, but of course couldn't, as his team lost, and of course the MVP has to go to the winning team. It was instead given to Mr. Matt Mack, who this time was not able to really achieve the greatness that we saw him achieve in the previous map, where he was very much on fire, getting a lot of those kills, especially with the Rooney and that DMR on defense. He had a very flashy one through the hatch, and another one all the way from like 3 floors up, or three floors down rather. So very impressive stuff from him last game. This time, I mean, it's a pretty much lose-lose situation no matter what he does. He was in a 1 versus 5. Very rarely do you see those won by a player, and is even rarer to see it won in a post-plant situation. That would basically have to be a massive throw from the attacking side to lose it, to lose a 5 versus 1 in that situation.
Confidence out in prime.
Back downstairs they go, trying to hold on to the round this time, hopefully.
5 seconds left.
This time it will depend, much the way that it did last time, it will depend on whether or not Gunter is able to hold on to the roll for a little bit longer. Last map, the first 3 rounds were won by Voltage Gaming, where Articles were not able to hold on to map control at all, and were very, very bad at wasting time. As soon as they fixed that mistake, they started winning rounds. So Voltage Gaming cannot afford to be making the same mistakes. They were good at preserving map control in the first round, but getting too aggressive and losing their roamer right away, and then Mr. Matt Mac having to fall back really did not help them. Mr. Gunter already taking a little bit of damage upstairs, as he's getting challenged onto quite a bit, getting droned out as well. So far so good though, but taking a little bit of more damage as well as he's trying to rotate away from his current position. There's a player playing inside of Garage who might just be the next one on his radar, or he just might be the next one on the radar of Park or Twift, who are both looking to pinch him a little bit. There are drones, they know exactly where he is. There comes a Lions can at just the wrong time. He could have gotten the pick, but he spots him out anyway, and they down him through the wall. Twift is there with the final, or the finisher rather, and with more time than the previous round, they again have map control completely, except for the site, which they are looking to gain, as well as they start to open up those hatches and start to push down those freezer stairs as well. Park with the Gaunt 6 taking care of the shield that was placed inside of... Actually, I don't think it was a shield. I think it was a Vulcan canister, yeah. Inside of freezer. That, of course, denies Mr. Matt Mac from pushing up. But also, it just gets rid of that utility early on, so they don't have to worry about it when the execute comes eventually. Here come the Habana pellets again. Tash this time will not overcook the grenade. Finds one to Mr. Matt Mac. The Daka is there to follow up with the shotgun. Finds Twift. P1 in a very, very compromised position now. Being shut down, potentially being shut down all the way from inside a freezer. I'm just a noob. Will find the Daka as Joke finds Park. P1 still in this position, just trying to hold on. That final grenade is deployed in his direction, but does not find the kill. Tash will find Joke, and it's all down to P1 in that same position. But of course, as that position was already given away long and long ago. Finds himself dead, and the round goes to Arcticals again. They take the lead 2-1 so far, looking a lot better than they did in the previous map, and are looking to really regain the control that they maybe lost when they lost a couple points in the previous matchup, or in the previous round rather, previous map rather. Going back upstairs this time, as the previous 2 rounds that they tried to defend on the basement, which tends to be a very, very defender-sided site. I mean, this is already, to begin with, a very defender-sided map. Something 60% defender-sided. So, actually, as I check it, yeah, it's 61% defender-sided. Very, very defender-sided. And especially that basement site tends to be the most defensive-sided site on this map. sometimes even in the entire game. I mean, there was a time where that site was completely unwinnable by the attack unless they, pulled off a rush or something like that. So the fact that Voltage are not only losing,
Moving out to locate a bomb
but
and defuse it.
losing in such a decisive fashion, it really does not speak well for them. But going back upstairs now, bringing that Fenrir again, bringing that Tachanka, we'll be trying to hold on to the round a little bit longer than they did last time they defended this, where they lost a couple people very early on. They were there for the trades, but they still got a little bit dicey. Dicey that it should have. Park makes his way inside the rear stage already, trying to maybe hunt down P1 if he's even aware of his position currently inside of meeting. P1 just running away, blowing up in that hatch to give himself another exit point. He will definitely be getting challenged up to quite a bit. Park through the wall will try to find him, but he will not. Twift inside of a goo mine. Can't really challenge him too much, as of course he cannot sprint after him. The Daka will be trying to deny the push coming from the bedroom side with those fire Shumika launchers. Park taking quite a lot of damage in an attempt to try and contest P1 still inside of meeting. We'll be rotating around and we'll still be trying to find that particular kill. He knows exactly where he is. Wow, we both thought that was a headshot, Park, but unfortunately he missed him just by a little bit. Twift does find Gunter and they pick up that opening kill anyway. But P1 is still on the roam and those Fenrir gadgets are getting deployed as well, or getting activated as well. So Arctic Wolves are a little bit stuck and a little bit lost as they are inside of that purple smoke shield. Smoke bubble, rather. Park swinging onto the doorway. Twift will find Mr. Mac. We'll find him as well. It's a bit of a self-trade. Titaka on very low HP now. Joke and P1 not looking too good for wear either. Park the only damaged attacker, or he goes down as well as P1 finds him just a noob. Tash is there for the refrag. Chips is there for another one onto Titaka, and now it's all down to Joke. And a 1 versus 2. It's the Fenrir, brand new operator. A couple of his gadgets are still deployed, so he might be able to just find something. Shoots out this clone that was trying to spot out his exact position, and they do just that, but he's still trying to contest onto them. And there goes the swing from inside of Attic as Tash was straight from Trophy inside of Attic and finds the final kill. Puts the round on the board for Arctic Wolves. And they take quite a significant lead now. Voltage trailing behind with just 1 round to their name so far. And on a significantly defender-sided map. I mean, I spoke about this back on Chalet when they were also losing rounds on a defensive-sided map. It's not as much of a defender-sided map. Chalet is only about 51, so, they still, are able to salvage something, and this is exactly what happened. But, Oregon, significantly more defender-sided. They really do not want to be losing these rounds. Attacking is going to be so much more difficult, but both of these teams could just be very, very good at countering any defenses, so we might see a comeback from Voltage that's similar to what Arctic Wolves were able to achieve in the previous game. Previous map, rather.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Bringing a slightly different lineup this time. Foregoing the Fenrir, understanding that, okay, maybe he's not that good of a pick.
Attackers are moving out to
We really don't understand how it works yet, how the gadget works yet, or, how it fits into our defense. So let's just go back to basics, show clicking onto the mute instead. Try and deny a little bit of that information, try and deny a little bit of that push. Gunter as well, switching off of the roaming Oryx. P1 off of the roaming Legion, trying to play it a little bit closer to the chest to try and hold on to this round a little bit more. But Park will find P1 anyway. Mr. Mac, really the only roaming presence, the only real roaming presence inside of Tower is still sitting there. Could just be getting contested onto. He will be running away inside of attic. Will be reinforcing that attic wall as well. So now it is not really worth holding on to it as his front line of defense. P1 gets shut down. Gunter, the only other roaming presence from the side of Voltage, gets shut down as well. He was previously seen playing inside of Armory, and as he gets shut down, leaving Voltage in a 3 versus 5. They are not looking too good at the moment, but those Mew Jammers turned out to be a very, very good bring as they are denying those Selmas from deploying, denying a little bit of time and denying a little bit of utility, as well as, of course, the entry through that side. But that's Tash already inside of attic. Park will find Joke from the freezer stairs. Twift will find Mr. Mac, and it's all down to Tadaka. He will not find anything. It's Tash with the final one. Flawless round for Arctic Wolves. And they extend their lead at 4 rounds to 1. Not much to say, really. I mean, this is really the Arctic Wolves that we expected to see in the previous matchup. Or the previous map, rather. This is the Arctic Wolves that won the last season. These are the Arctic Wolves that are by far and away everybody's favorites and the favorites to win this season as well. So really unsurprising to see them winning it, but really quite disappointing for Voltage Gaming. They are not able to find anything more than that. Just that one round, that opening round on this map. They've not really been able to find anything, and now they're going back down to basement, which they have really not had any sort of success on. Trying to find that success here and now. Mr. Gunter switching off of the Oryx that he was previously seen playing. That really did not work out. Going on to the Legion instead. Mr. Mac taking off the Goyo again. P1 deciding to forego the Wamai that he was playing, leaving the site pretty much unprotected of any sort of projectile utility. But bringing the Kapkan means time wasting and maybe even some little bit of HP wasting for the side of Arctic Wolves. We'll have to drone out all of these Kapkan traps, or, if they don't, they could just be losing HP, if not their lives as well. P1 and Gunter both roaming upstairs inside of kitchen. Tash sees just the head of P1, but is not able to find a kill. Decides to not go for the grenade he was about to throw into securities, of course. He got the call from Twift that he was upstairs inside of the bedroom, and he's able to do vertical damage with the Buck Skeleton key and doesn't really need to waste a grenade. Tosses a flashbang. I think that was a bit of a misinput now. A minute gone, and they are really putting so much pressure onto these remaining roamers. P1 has dropped away as he was not safe anymore, but Gunter is still trying to put up a fight from inside of meeting. He could just get shut down from the hatch as the active things are coming out on him. I don't think he's even aware of the hatch being open, and even if he was aware of the hatch being open, he was surely not aware of a player there. Gets shut down, but now Twift, who got that kill, finds himself down but not out to those Kapkan traps. Mr. Mac was so close but so far from finding the finisher. Instead, it's Chips to find him instead. Twift still alive and well, allowing Arctic Wolves to really put so much pressure onto the remaining defenders. There comes the push down all of the stairwells, rather. Park makes his way inside of sight, finds one, immediately shut down by Didaka, however, on that swing from inside of closet. Chips is down but not out, I think, also to Kapkan traps. Twift will find another one of the Joke, who was trying to contest. There goes Didaka, shutting down Twift finally. Chips is still down, so it's effectively a 1 versus 2. He's going to make his way upstairs. That diffuser will be going down as they finally pick up Chips, and now he's going to try and maybe contest them from above. They surely have drones up there, but I don't know if they had anyone watching them at the time, and as they pop that bulky canister, it's going to take Quite a lot of effort from him to try and find the win here. He can hear them shuffling around there like bugs, but I'm just a noob to find the final one. Arctic Wolves, an absolutely perfect first half so far, aside from that first round where they lost, but they adapted perfectly to it, continued to win on that top floor site, and continued to win on that basement site as well. They leave the half at a 5-1 split, and are just a step away now from match point. Just 2 steps away from 3 points so far in this map. 4 points overall from this matchup.
Attackers
Looking very, very good for them
many bombs
at the moment. For their first defensive site, they will also be going upstairs to dorms and kids' room. It is an unlikely site to, or it is a pretty, down the middle site to see as the primary site. I think a while ago, it was unlikely to see it get brought first. It was usually always that basement site, but of course, as the meta's change and as a lot of those setups get known, people adapt and teams adapt, and they find new things that work. Doing a lot of this vertical damage as well already as ships onto the default plant spot. Of course, to deny anybody from planting there. They do not want to get shot out from below. Twift going for a bit of a cheeky spawn peek. Takes a little bit of damage instead. Just nearly shut down and could just be going for an early engagement here. He does against Mr. Matt Mac. That's the sledge off the board. His nades are gone with him, and the second pair of nades is gone as well as he shuts down Gunter. Just a 1 HP to his name, but it doesn't matter as his damage has already been done. He goes for a jump out as well. Dodaka will find him. That was a little bit overzealous from Twift, but as I said, his damage has already been done. Both sets of grenades are gone for the side of Voltage Gaming, and now they're gonna have to try and use those clutch drones from the Brava, oh my goodness, or the Ash. Try and clear out some of this utility, but as Tash does a very, very nice swing, that MP7 onto Joke. They lose their hard reach, they lose their diffuser, and they are not looking good at the moment. Dodaka pushes into the armory, taking a little bit of damage all the way from tower. Does manage to find his challenger. Shuts him down, brings it down to a 2 versus 3, but make that a 1 versus 3 as there is a swing. And there's another swing as Tash is there to clean house. Match point for Arctic Wolves as they continue to be completely flawless in both their attacks and their defense. This is now a 6-round streak from them, 6-round win streak from them, the longest win streak that anyone has had so far in this matchup. The longest anybody had before that was 5 rounds from the side of Arctic Wolves in the previous matchup, or in the previous round, previous map. Good lord, I could not speak today. I apologize, but in the previous map, they had a 5-round win streak. They broke it now with a 6-round win streak. Voltage Gaming forced to take a timeout to try and slow down some of the momentum that Arctic Wolves currently find themselves under, but also to try and fix some of the mistakes that are happening. And I mean, I feel like it might be a little too late. They lost a lot of very free rounds early on. I wouldn't say free because they were Arctic Wolves were still pretty good with it, but losing their roamers so early on in rounds 2 and 3 really did not help them. I mean, Gunter and P1 both getting too aggressive and both getting shut down and just allowing so much map control for Arctic Wolves, it really did not help them, and it shows because they have no rounds to show for themselves apart from that first one all the way back on dorms, which really was the only round where we didn't see them spread themselves too thin, which is probably why they won it. But now, on attack, they are still just struggling to find an in. I mean, that was a spawn peak from Twift, so can't really blame them too much for that, but they still should have been there for those trades. Instead, they were just not there. They lost 2, then 3, then 4, and then
Attackers
finally they
located a
just
bomb.
couldn't win the round. Back down into the basement they go this time. Arctic Wolves bringing a slightly different lineup, although still very, very similar to what we saw from Voltage, foregoing the Goyo for the Rook, who is quite unusual, and it looks like Voltage will be going for a bit of a rush. They got the Finka, they got the Blitz, they got the Lion. This is definitely a rush if I have ever seen one. I think it might even be a bunker rush. That is exactly what it will be. And when you are losing 6-1, this is basically your only chance of winning a round. And it doesn't look like Arctic Wolves are really even prepared for it, but they are now, as Mr. Mac makes his, or as Justin makes his way back to the shield. But they are just shot down so quickly. Didaka makes a 1v5, a 1v4. Still that skeleton key in pocket, but it's chips from behind him. Shotgun at close range. I couldn't even get my words out. That's how quickly that was lost. A 7-1, very, very strong win for the side of Arctic Wolves. They pick up 4 points from this matchup, as they got 1 in the previous one on Chalet, and now they picked up another 3 from this one. And Voltage have really quite a lot to be happy about. Oregon was a really, really bad map for them, but they really showed their teeth on Chalet. They picked up 2 points, the first 2 points of the season so far. I'm sure there will be more to come. It is a team that didn't place very well in the previous season. They were down to the lower end of the standing. So for them to be putting up that good of a fight on Chalet against the defending champions is definitely something for them to write home about, and is something to cling on to, and as well as those points is definitely something to cling on to. Getting those points early on, although I say that points don't really come into question until about round 4, is still really, really good to be building yourself that base early on, and making sure that you're capable of getting those wins and you're capable of getting those points. So very, very good job from Voltage, but Arctic Wolves' work cannot be understated. They did a really, really good job of adapting to everything that Voltage were bringing, both on attack and defense, pretty much the entire time, all the way back on Chalet. We saw it from them. They were trailing behind 3 rounds, and then they brought it back, and then they were sort of back and forth in the second half, and they weren't able to close it out in overtime, but they were able to close it out in regulation on Oregon, and they did a really, really good job of it. The MVP race is still very, very much going. The previous map, it went to Mr. Matmac, who had a couple flashy kills and was overall a very, very crucial player to the side of Voltage Gaming this time. And as I wanted to do last time, but of course couldn't because Arctic Wolves lost the game, I will be giving it to I'm Just a Noob, who played very, very well. I mean, both those maps, he was constantly on that scoreboard, constantly getting a lot of those very important frags, nearly got that clutch all the way back on Chalet, and was very, very important to the success of Arctic Wolves. But as I always say, their season's still so long. There's also the playoffs. There are so many opportunities for these teams and for these players to be picking up that MVP title. So it really doesn't matter. They will all get a chance eventually to pick up their own and to be able to brag about it. But that will close up this matchup between Voltage Gaming and Arctic Wolves. That was Playdate number 2 of Season 2, Round 2. So all the 2s all over the place. And for the rest of the week, we will have a couple more games. So definitely stay tuned for that over the weekend, which is when we will be hitting you back up with a couple more streams of the Champions League. We will not have any. Could we? No, I don't think we're going to have any of the Premier League either in between. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens over the weekend between the Champions League teams. But in any case, I've been Retro. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and keep those notifications on so that you know when we go live next. We will only be streaming on YouTube from At this point forward, we will not be streaming on Twitch anymore due to the certain policies that have been implemented by the company of Twitch. So you can forego that channel for the foreseeable future, as we will be focusing on this one instead. As I say, subscribe, keep those notifications on so that you know when we go live. Thank you everybody for watching, and have a good night.
Waiting, I'm hoping that you set me free. Can't take the pressure you hold over me. I'm falling, I'm fading, I'm losing my mind. Can't take the pressure and leave you behind. Oh.